Welcome to the Marine Conservation Happy Hour YouTube special. Thank you so much for joining us. I am your host, Dr. Scarlett Smash. There is Dr. Kraken. How you doing, Dr. Kraken?
How you doing?
I'm doing okay so far, but we have a very sad topic. We're going to talk about the Faroe Islands, and this has been in our news over and over again. You must have seen the pool of blood of the dolphin slaughter. The Faroe Islands are part of Denmark, and it's northwest of Scotland. And, I didn't even realize that this was an actual event. Like, this is an actual event that happens where people are okay. It's okay to slaughter a bunch of cetaceans. And it's just a very sad situation. All these pictures that we saw, I don't even want to get involved in it. It's going to make me cry. So Dr. Kraken, just take it away.
Yes, yeah. I mean, to give a little bit of background, the Faroe Islands are part of Denmark, but although it's illegal to kill whales and dolphins in Europe, and of course Denmark is part of Europe, the Faroe Islands and Greenland have got an exemption. So there's this sort of really dodgy legal exemption. They have been hunting particularly pilot whales and dolphins in the Faroe Islands from at least the 1700s. The practice is called the grind or the grind, and it's like an ancient Viking way of chasing dolphins into a bay and then killing them. The Faroe Islands are actually really, really wealthy because they have a lot of money from oil and gas extraction. So they're one of the wealthiest parts of the world. And so the argument that they need to kill these animals in order to get food, unlike parts of Alaska, for example, where there's, no superstores that they can go to get food in some places, and that's been an important part of their diet for thousands of years. It is only a few hundred years old, and it's more of a festival, like running with the bulls, rather than an important part of their diet. In fact, for years, they've been saying women and children should not eat any of the meat because it's so heavily contaminated with heavy metals. So what happened recently in September was they did a big drive and a kill of 1,400 primarily white-beaked dolphins, which is a huge number.
Way more than they're supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, some years they don't catch any at all. Previously, one of the highest hunts has been like 700 in the last sort of 20 or 30 years, and now it's like double that. And there's a lot of concern in that they don't know what the impact of this will be on the population, because they basically took an entire local group and then slaughtered them. Will that group be replaced by other dolphins? How many dolphins are there swimming around off the coast? We don't know the mathematics of the sustainability of this. And also with 1,400 animals, they're driving them onto the beach. They're pulling them onto the beach with hooks that they embed in them, and then they cut their heads off. And there's no way you can do that humanely. I mean, these are intelligent animals, and it is just inhumane. And so that compromises so many European humane laws. It's awful.
So sad. It's just inhumane. It's pure abuse. And there's no reason for us to have this, honestly. I mean, literally, there's no reason for this to be happening. Thank goodness there was an outpour of angry people. I mean, a lot of people are not even going to travel to Denmark because, we don't want to be a part of this. We don't want to give money to a country that is still doing this. Again, Dr. Kraken, we've mentioned that whales are actually helping to fight climate change. And here we are slaughtering them.
Well, actually, that particular species that they took so many of, the white-beaked dolphin, this is one of the early victims of climate change, because they have seen in places like off the coast of Scotland, white-beaked dolphins being pushed further and further north as climate changes. And there's been several studies that have predicted that as the oceans get warmer, the habitat for these cold water white-beaked dolphins will be disappearing, which is probably why that they are in large numbers off the Faroe Islands. These are animals that might have previously been in Scottish waters and are being pushed further and further north. So they are losing their habitat, being pushed into areas like the Faroe Islands. So although the IUCN considers them to be least concern, that's been because historically they've been in a small number of countries that have very well protected their dolphins, like the UK, like Ireland. And now with this big hunt, there's a lot of concern. And as mentioned, they are sort of front line of impacts of climate change on whales and dolphins. So this is very concerning in many, many ways. And really, something like this shouldn't be happening in the Faroe Islands, which is a protectorate of Denmark. It would be like, I don't know, it would be like Puerto Rico suddenly kills 2,000 dolphins. It's the same sort of thing.
It's so sad. It's so sad. Well, thank you, Dr. Kraken, for doing the hard work and talking about that, because I just can't. I'm just too emotional about this.
You just can't even.
I can't. I'll listen to it, but I can't talk about it because it's just horrible. I couldn't even look at those pictures. Those poor babies.
They actually have
babies.
Postcards of this hunt in souvenir shops in the Faroe Islands.
No, it's not.
They
okay.
have souvenir stuff with people killing
Not
pilot
okay.
whales and dolphins. It's really strange. It's really strange.
Well, thank you, Dr. Kraken, for joining me. And for everyone that's listening, thank you so much for joining us for our Facebook special episode. You will not have this episode, or you will not hear it on our podcast. Please like this video, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and happy conservation.